Hello, dear friends. It's so good to be with you once again. So today, I guess I have to make sure that I have with my head cut off or various other things that I tend to do with the video when I'm not centered. And there I am. I think that's okay. I get so excited that I forget to look at whether my head is in the middle for those of you who do watch on video. All right, I'm ready to start. And today I'm going to talk about two different lessons, lesson 43 and lesson 199. And I'm just going to take little parts of those because I'm going to continue with what I started as our referring to ourselves as I, pure awareness. Now, for many, that's a new word, and it's new for me to be comfortable with that. I had a lot of issues with that word because people define it as my insight, my awareness, and it becomes part of a person, it becomes part of a personality, and it goes down the rabbit hole of separation. And what the Course actually makes a big deal about being clear that perception and knowledge are very different. And so I've been a little reluctant up till now. I've been talking about it in the last few videos, but I'm repeating myself in case this is your first time with me here at ACIM Gather or on YouTube. But it needs, or it's useful to repeat this really all through the day, because we forget, we get hypnotized believing either that we're a body and we're the doer of the body, or we believe we're the personality. And I think many people who are longtime students of A Course in Miracles, which means that they're also getting older, those of us that are like me, who've been around a long time, we start to kind of happily, at least to some degree, accept that we're not the body. Why? Because the body's aging. We get clear more often than not that our body is finite, temporal, not going to last. But we're still, well, let me just stay with that a little longer. We're willing to believe that we're more than the body because we know we're going to die in not as distant a future. So we how can I say it, soften our stance, let's say, that we're a body. Younger people, let's say in their 30s, or teenagers who are athletes, they're 100% sure they're the body, and they take a lot of pride in the body and in whatever it is that they do with the body, whether it's sex or sports or beautiful clothes or an exchange system with beauty, or even intelligence. When we see ourselves as the small mind, we're scientists, or we're mathematicians, or we're smart at school, or we're novelists, or we're techie people, or we make a lot of money through our smarts or marketing. There's a lot of pride in our minds, our small minds. Course in Miracles separates the small mind and the mind of the oneness. But what I want to say today is that we're fooling ourselves when we've softened on being a body. If we substituted the personality, if we've substituted, maybe I'm not the body because it's going to die. And maybe this spirit that the Course talks about is my personality. I think a lot of people have gone there. That's not it. That's not what the Course means. So what does it mean? I love the neti neti pointing, which is the Sanskrit word for pointing out what we're not, so that we can open to what we are. So here's where I want to bring in the non-dual. I would like to talk today about a few words that Rupert Spira said in his daily quote and relate it to what we've been talking about here. Now, don't get freaked out, please, when you first don't understand his words. We're going to hang with it. Mind is the self-coloring activity of awareness. Let's just take that one sentence. And this is, I believe he's saying mind meaning small mind. Mind meaning who we think we are. Mind meaning personality. Mind is the self-coloring activity of awareness. So if we just take that sentence and we take it with the image of self-coloring, we know what coloring is. Like, just picture coloring crayons in a coloring page, but it's self-coloring. Well, what is coloring? Coloring is making it appear like a form. If it's colorless, we can't see it. So let's just take a break from this 1 minute. And let's go to form and formless, because it boggles our brains. So let's picture something we have done recently that was off the mark. Perhaps we were not as kind as we think we should have been. Perhaps we've lost our temper. Perhaps we've judged somebody or something as being unworthy. Maybe it was ourselves. Maybe it was someone else. Maybe it was someone else and then ourselves. Maybe we didn't do the things we told ourselves we would do. That would be enough to get ourselves in trouble with ourselves. Just think of anything. I'm sure you've thought of some way or some thought that you came up short. Most of us don't have any trouble coming up with that. Just stay with that a minute. Well, there's a situation. There's you and the thing, or you and the person. There's a story going there. And we get involved in whatever the story is. The reason you feel badly is whatever with this story, or even the list you didn't do on the list, what you said you were going to do. Okay, let's step back a little bit, like we've done before. And there is something that is observing. Let's say I lost my temper and spoke harshly, or I judged somebody. There is something that observed, the witness to the observer to this event, this imagined event, we could say, or this real event, whatever you want to call it. So there's that observer. And then there's something, it's not a person. We don't have another person in us, but there is some, would you call it an energy that is observing or is able to say that we observed our defect, our losing the temper, or whatever it was. Back we are to that. And if we go back to even that is being observed, there's an observer of the observer. At a certain point, it becomes formless, does it not? There's an energy there. There's an energy that is aware, but it doesn't have a shape, I don't think. Does yours? Does it have a color? Does it have a form? So far it's formless and colorless. Is this still you, the body? Is this still you, the personality? If you think still that God is outside you, you call the supreme or the divine, and that's not you, then is it that? If it's not that, where does that energy end and the divine begin? Where? Can you find it? It may not have a border. It doesn't have the personality, I don't think, that the observer that was close to your judge, that your judgment that you did wrong, you did chose badly, or whatever your words would be. This energy that's further back, and we can only get there when we are relaxed, going backward, going inward, going behind. When we're in the body going outward, this is not apparent to us. And I like the word now, awareness, because that's all we can say. We are aware of being aware. I do like the word pure awareness because it kind of is a mouthful And that stops confusing it with insight. Personal insight. So lesson 199. I am not a body. I am free. I am still as God created me. Let's try it again. I'm not a body. I am free. I am still pure awareness. How is that landing on you? Does it feel true? Do you prickle and go, I don't know, I don't understand it? If you're saying, I don't understand it, I don't get it, maybe you're like me where you put up a wall to that word. Somehow, I was not ready to get it. So I thought the problem was the word. And I fought the word. I know I'm not alone. Those are just the barriers to love that the Course talks about. Course talks about your blocks to love, eliminating the blocks to love. And for many people, they want to get it all with a small mind. But let's go back to that quote. Mind is the self-coloring activity of pure awareness. So pure awareness is the energy of what some people would call God. And it's not limited to what the body can do. The body doesn't color. I mean, unless we put makeup on or clothing, but we get the skin, we get the eye coloring, we get. But pure awareness could be playing with us as bodies. Do you think this is what is meant? That even the personality, even the body has been colored by pure awareness to make us believe we're a form. Then the next sentence is rather fun. Meditation, this is what we all do to supposedly find our spirit. Meditation is the fading or dissolving of this self-coloring activity and the subsequent revelation of the colorless essence of the mind with a capital M, pure awareness itself. I know he speaks, he's super smart, and Rupert Spira, and he's really clear, but it has to be a while till we understand that language so that we're not translating. And of course, Miracles, of course, was that way as well. And we did put the time in to get the Course words. So what is he saying? He's just saying what the Course says. We're not the body. We're not the mind, the small mind. We're not the personality. These are misperceptions. These are thoughts and feelings. Even that feeling that you did wrongly, by judging, by whatever you did. That's a feeling. It leaves. The thoughts leave. They come, they go, they come, they go. Our perceptions of this body come and go. One day we look just fine. The next day we're old and creepy. One day we're fat. 2 hours later we're thin, or one moment it's okay to drink and the next moment it's not okay to drink. I mean, just pick your subject. It changes. Everything changes. But there is something, an energy that is changeless. It changes form, but it is still energy. If I were more adept at quantum physics and talking science and energy, I would veer off now. And maybe Lynn can talk about that sometime. I think I'd love to have Lynn on and have a discussion with Lynn. Maybe I can arrange that. Lynn, if you're listening, would you contact me if you're willing to have a video where we talk about energy transforming and we're always still? What God is, what pure awareness is. We just appear. It's appearances that trick us. We believe in the appearances. Now you're going to say, look, I feel like I'm a body. I know I'm a personality. I can feel it. I know it. Well, if I interrupted your dream and was able to get into your nighttime dream and told you that your dream was not real, you'd say, same thing. I know this dream is real because I can feel it and I think it and I know it. Same thing. But we don't need to argue about this. If you are arguing about whether this world is real or whether it's a dream, I think that's going to take you off the mark. We can all agree it feels real. And we can end that discussion by opening. When I say it feels real, what we should say is it appears real in our experience. We don't need to argue more. It's a red herring. But what happens if we open to pure awareness? Let's now go back to what you believed you did wrong. How much does it matter now that we've had a little taste of that back place, that place that is pure energy behind the person who did wrong, behind the observer of the person who did something that was off the mark. And behind that, the thing that's always been you, that thread, different ages, you had different thoughts and different feelings, but there's something that knows you're always been alive. The you that's the Lynn, the Roslyn, the Dove, the Mark, the Anthony, the Stephanie, the Kenan, the Anne, the Katie. There's something that knows you're alive. Something that knows your beingness. That's not the last thing you did or the first thing you did. It's not a doing. Doing comes and goes. Thoughts come and go. Feelings come and go. And yet you are the one that knows these thoughts and feelings, so they cannot be the same as what you are. Does that stand for reason? I think it's clear. If it's not clear, what to do? You know, they used to say in AA, I was never an official member of AA. I used to go to meetings so I could understand what my alcoholic clients were learning and doing and experiencing. And I thought the 12 steps were so useful to everyone. And I did have an overeating problem. So that was my perception at the time. And they used to say at the end, keep coming back. And why do they say that? Sometimes we have these blocks, we have these barriers in our minds to understanding. And then the next day, those blocks are not there. So, what is it that we talked about today? I promised you something from lesson 43. We did lesson 199 in that one sentence. I'm not a body. I am free. I am still pure awareness. And lesson 43, I'll give it to you two ways. God is my source. I cannot see apart from him. Pure awareness is my source. I see with life. I see with pure awareness. I see from that energy that's behind, that has always been my true I. That is pure sight. That is pure knowledge. That is that uncolored, empty space which the body and the personality fill in as coloring. But the void might not be what we think of as the void. The void sounds like empty, bad. What if the void, in the void, you are everything? You are unlimited. You are free. You are what God is. You are pure awareness. You are pure energy. There are no judges. Whatever you did, it was part of pure awareness. There's a sentence in lesson 43 that I want to read to you. You cannot see apart from pure awareness because you cannot be apart from pure awareness. Whatever you do, it says in him or in pure awareness, because whatever you think with pure awareness. Now I'll read it to you the way the Course wrote it. You cannot see apart from God because you cannot be apart from God. Whatever you do in him, because whatever you think with his mind. Now I'll read it to you again with pure awareness. You cannot see apart from pure awareness because you cannot be apart. You cannot be separated from pure awareness. Whatever you do in pure awareness, because whatever you think with pure awareness. Oh, my friends, that takes care of any imagined unworthiness. It is all pure awareness. We're just busy having judgments about what's good and what's bad. And it all just is the play. Thank you for today, everybody. Namaste.